Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome to this reading. I like how this mirror in the background, if you're watching this. There I am. Hi. We are doing is it a love reading? It's more of a relationship reading. So, we're at the love table. I don't want to make this intro too long. But Spirit has guided me to talk a little bit more about relationships than we have been doing. So I guess there must be some maybe big shift happening. So to get us in the spirit of this, pick a card and to get us all into good old sacred space. I'm wrapping us all in love light and light love. And inviting in the guides who overlight TLC for the soul, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, the Pleiadians, and all my love guides, relationship guides, Archangel Chamuel, and others that they said will make themselves known during your reading to join us here. Now, Spirit, what is the focus of this reading this time? Because I've pre-placed out the piles, which we'll talk about in just one second. But rather than me setting the intention of the reading, Spirit brought this relationship reading to me as something that they said are messages for our collective here at TLC for the Soul. So this is a reading of what is happening in relationships right now. What's shifting, what's possibly changing, who might be leaving, who might be coming in, and let me just see if there's any time frame they want me to talk about. They just keep saying right now. Right now, whenever you're listening to this, is a major shift and change in relationships. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic partnerships. It could be other types. It could be soulmate relationships as well. They're saying it's mainly having to do, if I bring it up even higher without putting a label on it, it mainly has to do with divine soul contracts and soul partnerships. And you can assign whatever label you want to that. So when I say label, I'm talking about soulmate, divine counterpart, twin flame, romantic partner, friendship, blah, blah, blah. Okay, karmic partner, all of those things. They're saying you will be very easily able to tell in the reading who this is talking about or what situation this is talking about without me having to stumble all over the labels, because I think that gets us a little bit, caught up. So I like to walk around during the reading, so I may leave and come over. But let's get our piles going so that we have, this love table is very, very busy with love. But where's my little... Okay, I'm going to use my little favorite pink brush. Okay, so for pile number one, this is pile number one. We're going to choose by sound. So I just saw someone else do this on their channel, and I was like, this is really cute. It's different than picking objects. We're going to choose your pile by the sound. So before I jump into the sounds, let's just take a deep breath together to get centered, because I think whenever we start, I don't know why, relationships and finances, people's nerves get a little jangled. So let's take a deep breath. What I would also do here too, I always say, ask you to listen with your master senses, call in your own guides to join you, put yourself in sacred space, put yourself in a space of, I like to call it like delta brainwaves, like a very, almost like, maybe I need to guide you into some delta brainwaves, almost like a dreamy, magical, magic-y feeling. And I think some of the guides want to come in now and just say, you know, if this isn't a good time, this particular reading is not one to listen to while you're driving to work or, you know, doing the yard work. They want you to really go into it as almost as if it was a shamanic journey or like an elder council reading, because of the shift that's about to happen is something really major. And this is not something small like, you know, or you're going to have a disagreement with somebody tomorrow, you know, here's how to best handle it. This appears to be readings about big shifts in relationships coming up here right now. They don't want me to say like next quarter or tomorrow or Sunday or whatever. They want me to say right now. All right, so you put whatever time frame you want on that. Okay, so the first pile, get all these crystals that wanted to be part of this reading. It's like they have been sitting on this love grid, which you can't necessarily see right now, but they're like, don't take us out of the picture. All right, for pile number 1, we have this card, Forest of the Wolf. This is my deck. This is from my deck. And this is the sound. So we're choosing by the sound. So as you're intuiting which pile, pay close attention to the sound. And then they want me to get a bottle cap for each pile too, because bottle caps, they say, are a fan favorite. But pay attention to the sound. Oh, here I am again. Look. Hi. Pay attention to the sound. All right. So that is pile, that sound is going to be pile 1. And then I brought out my trusty bottle caps. And I guess there's one I should throw back in. I have had it on this table for quite some time, but I'm going to throw this one back in. That one's meant to be. All right, so what's the bottle cap? This is so fun. All right, pile 1. I love this picture. And I wanted to do a picture-in-picture, like 2 cameras, and then I don't have 2 cameras set up. Look at this. This is crazy. All right, pile 1 is love is always the answer. So that's pile 1. This is crazy. Pile 2, this is from my deck, Twin Hearts. And you have the big Mamma Jamma. You've got the singing bowl. So this is the sound for pile number 2. This pile number 2 has like the Buddha. And your bottle cap is I can't see it. What does it say? I am complete. It's pile number 2. And pile number 3, this is a card from the Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot, just because I'm recording this pretty much the day after the summer solstice and the full moon in Capricorn, the first full moon. And you have this little egg rattle. This is its sound. And your bottle cap is, so many in here, like a lot. Oh, I can't get to it. Oh, it's 2 together. There's 2 together that want to come out. They're kind of stuck together in a sense. The first one is High Five to Wellness, and it was stuck to the harp, the Guinness Extra Stout. All right, so I will leave this running for just a second here. Calling in the guides, you pick your pile, and then we will see you, friends, in your piles. Hello, pile number one. Hello. Welcome to your reading. You chose the little bell, which this bell sits on my, I have so many altar spaces. This bell sits on the altar space that has like ancestors and elders, my main altar space on the place that houses all my decks, and I mainly use it for space clearing. So let's see if that comes into play at all. And then you got love is always the answer. And your card is pack notes. There is a full moon in the sky and you're feeling a little wild. You howl every now and again and have a strange desire to find your mate. Oh, the fun games you could play together under the moonlight. So that is your main card. So let's see what decks they want me to pull out for this reading. They want me to start with the Bohemian Animal Tarot. And then we'll move into some more of the love decks. Although to me, I don't know, this deck is just, I just love it. I mean, what about the card backs? That's all about love. All about love. Love is always the answer. So what, you're howling for your soulmate. What is happening right now? What major shifts and changes going on in relationships for you? And I think what I like to typically do is get all the cards out before I start building the story. So we've got 3 cards. We've got the 6 of Earth. That's super cute. We've got the 7 of Earth and the 3 of Earth. Wow, all pentacles. Look at that. Look at that. You're definitely co-creating something with spirit here, which if you're on my channel, that's pretty much how we roll, right? So let's keep going. Let's get from our, this is the Final Rose Tarot. Definitely, it loves to be a really good relation. Oh, okay, it just wants to throw those out there. Let's see, I might want the book for that. This is the 5 of Mirrors Tattletale. All right, my Twin Hearts deck. I thought I put that away. Let's see, it's over here. And then this one. Okay. They're saying these are going to be very direct and specific, and I won't need to be going on and on and on. Twin Hearts. It does look like it with this setup. Let's see, where can you see the shuffling? Here we go. Twin Hearts. What's going on with relationships for pile 1? Love will always find a way. Now, whenever I make a card deck, and this Twin Hearts is one of my decks, the love is always the answer. Love will always find a way, blah, blah, blah. It's always the last card in the deck. So this is the end of a cycle where you've been co-creating something with spirit. I'm not going to move the camera because I want to leave that little picture-in-picture thing. And then we're going to get a few cards from my handmade deck, the Labyrinth of Dragonshire. What is happening right now in relationships? Oh, goodness. Soul work, ghost return, rise, ancestors. This is my Samhain card. Samhain. Okay, so, okay, and this other card wants to come off the top of the deck. This is, everything is upgrading within and around you. Get ready. Isn't, no, that's, I'm thinking of something else. Never mind. I was like, isn't that kind of like a car? But I think it was like, isn't GTS? Can't look those, I'm not gonna look those up right now. Something fast. Because when I saw ST, they're having me think of like a fast car. And this is happening right now. Okay, between now and Samhain. So they are giving us a time frame here. Let's read this Tattletale card. This is the Five of Mirrors. This is a really good, never mind. I like decks with really good books. The Five of Mirrors. Tisk tisk. Don't you know tattletales always end up getting sent home, stirring up drama as a means to get ahead or throw others under the bus is a despicable plan that rarely works. Even though you're in competition with others, no one else is responsible for taking away your chance to find love. The truth always comes out, so be wise in choosing your battles. If you're the one whose name is being uttered by the tattletale, be mindful of how you handle this conflict. Own up to any wrongdoings on your part. Don't fight fire with fire. Defend yourself if you're the one being wronged, but ultimately choosing a more peaceful path and acting with integrity is in your best interests. So it's interesting because I think this is isn't a tattletale a rat? And isn't this Seven of Earth? I don't know if that's a rat. I'm not going to look in the book, but Seven of Earth is kind of like our divine timing card. A 5 and a 7 is 12. There's just so many pentacles here. I really do feel as if things are manifesting in a relationship. And my intention when I made this card was all about romantic partnerships. Howling at the moon like, oh, you know, are you out there? The werewolf, you know, like, I can't explain it. But you want to find your mate. See, it says you want to find, this one is very specific. It says you want to find your mate. Find your mate, not your friend or whatever. So I do really feel like this is romantic partnerships. Everything's upgrading. So between now and Samhain, I'm recording this in the end of June, pretty much the end of June. It will be in like a little bit more time. July, August, September, October, 4 months from now, whenever you hear this, whether you watch it when it drops or whether you watch it when, whenever, you're manifesting a mate, a soulmate, co-creating with spirit. And this is pretty much your advice. But what's between now and Samhain? And what's the advice? Because we have love is always the answer. We have things are upgrading. Between now and Samhain, you're co-creating with spirit. This whole tattletale thing. Oh, okay. So sometimes the book isn't always the answer here. This is something that, this has to do with intentions, and setting very clear intentions and kind of being the bigger bear. And it just reminds me of they're bringing it like this story. So the story is the parable they're saying for this reading. So it's, I do a lot of storytelling. Much of TLC for the Soul is about my channel, the books and all of that. And so storytelling plays a big part. So the storytelling is not just some off the wall example. The storytelling is part of your pile. So way back when, I think I was probably like 6 years old or 7 years old or whatever. And I was staying at it was not my biological grandmother. It was like a step grandmother or whatever. Staying at my grandmother's house. And my grandmother and my mom had like this weird karmic relationship. It was very like on again, off again. So, it was like, I either love you dearly or I don't like you at all. And it was very unclear what it had a lot of like excess baggage. And I feel like this is the rat in the card and I'm sitting in my little storytelling armchair, which may not be in the screen so much, but there's a lot of karmic baggage that was in this relationship. And that's kind of what this reminds me of with all of these little, not air quotes, but all these little thought bubbles. And I think this is the type of relationship that's being released. And then there's someone new is coming, which if you watched my 2024 second half energy themes, we did have between now and the 8/8 Lionsgate, a card that said someone new is coming. And it was from the Archangel Michael deck. And I'm just showing my handwritten notes from that video that we did. And if I remember, I'll link it in this one, but it was a big someone new is coming. Now, when we were doing this energy reading was 6/6 and then to 8/8. But the full realization of whatever this is between now and Samhain. But what's being released was something like this. My mom, I guess when we were up there, I think we were spending the summer with my grandmother, and it was like a bunch of ancestors in the house because my grandmother lived with her sisters and her brother, and like none of them, I think, ever really got married except my grandmother. It was a very weird household, very eccentric, very, very eccentric. And my mom, it was I think my grandmother's birthday, and my mom sent a birthday card, and the birthday card was really cute, and it had I don't remember the exact scene because remember this is like jillions of years ago, but on it, doing something for the birthday card was a rat. And I can remember looking at the card because I remember I think my grandmother opened it. Me and my sister were sitting there. And even at that age, what stood out to me was so bizarre because the card was really cute. I'm sure my mom, she was a very loving person. She wouldn't hurt anybody, intentionally. And she put whatever her little loving, happy birthday words and stuff were in there. And I remember my grandmother reading it. And then my grandmother was like, look at this card. Everybody in this house was very angry and had a lot of like anger issues and obviously unresolved trauma. Like we're talking way back when, right? Like in the 70s, maybe 1970s. And I remember instead of like posting the card up like, oh, look, I got a birthday card from my daughter, whatever, stepdaughter. And oh, isn't it so cute and happy? She went straight to the rat on the front of the card. And she was like, can you believe that? Is that what she thinks I am, a rat? Well, fine. I am not going to do this. And they was always like, you're in my will. You're out of my will. You're in my good graces. You're out of my good graces. I am not going to do anything for her ever again. That ungrateful little blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh my God, I remember being in shock. Like, how did we go from happy birthday, I love you, or whatever it said, to the rat was like the thing that stood out the most to this person. And so somebody like that is leaving your life. Somebody with unresolved issues. I did say this bell could be used for energy clearance. Typically what I use it for, like over an altar space or to clear a room. Love is always the answer. The divine feminine's falling over. I think in this case, you've always had to be the bigger bear in this relationship. And when I say bigger bear, you're the one that's like, maybe I'm more spiritually evolved than this other person. And, you know, I always had to be the one to, you know, step up and show forgiveness and, you know, turn the other cheek and basically live with this person's bad attitude or whatever the case may be, because this person didn't know any better. And this person was one that and sometimes, you know, because they had so much unresolved trauma, of course, back then, energy clearing, who knows what that was or what happened way back then. But this person never really did anything to, you know, forgive or anything like that. So you've got somebody like that in your life now. And the message for you is that all that hard work you've been doing with the Six of Pentacles, all the service work you've been doing to come back into balance, maybe you've been doing a lot of stuff to release your karmic past, which could have been, part of it could have been working with this relationship. I am noticing here too, we have 5, 6, 7. It's been a progression. It's taken quite a long time, but this is finally closing out what now with this love will always find a way, because I feel like you've always had your heart open. I think as this relationship came along, you came to realize like, this is not what I want for myself. In terms of love will always find a way, I think you were like, I am so much better. Somewhere along this journey, you realize like, I am so much better than this mess. I mean, I'm so becoming so out of alignment with this person who is just unwilling to change. And I do remember that, like the whole grandmother story. I mean, we're talking about the grandmother. You know, she was, I don't know how old she was back then. I think she was like in her 60s or 70s. Never changed. I remember all the way to the very end. At the very end of her life, she was like, I've taken you out of my will. You're not getting anything from me. And then, you know, grandma's dead. So this is somebody who might never change in this lifetime. And knowing what we know now about how energy works, I just would have so much compassion for these types of people, because it's like, oh my gosh, you're going to have to come back again next lifetime and do this all over again. So as this relationship is transitioning out of your reality, because you've aligned to something much higher and much greater now, that's much more aligned to who you are, you know, we release these old partnerships, divine soul partnerships and contracts, with love and compassion and gratitude, because yay, you don't have to come back and do this again next lifetime. I think you've cracked the code. You cracked the code. You figured it out, the mission, and the mission was to come here and do the work you needed to do to release this contract. Like null, I don't want to say null and void. They're saying null and void, but null and void to me would be like it never ever happened. And it's like, well, there's many lessons that were learned from this, so I don't think you're gonna easily forget them. But the thing is, you don't have to come back and do this with this individual or this soul ever again. And that's something to be really proud of. That's something to really celebrate and to honor in the work that you have done for yourself and for nobody else but you. All right, I feel like there's a final card coming, but what deck? The graveyard? All right, we're going to the embroidered graveyard. That's our final card. A very beautiful, shiny, sparkly deck. What is our final message? Any advice? Because we're saying we've got 4 months. But it looked like it was something happening in progression. It looked like it was something happening between now and the 8/8. Is that fair to say? Yes, they're saying. And then the 8-8 to Samhain. They're saying that is right, on track. Okay. So what's the advice for now? Oh my God, look at your final card. It's almost like another howling. Or wolf. Is it two? It's two wolves together now instead of one, looking for its soulmate. And the card is Abundant Intuition. And this book is chef's kiss. So I am going to read from this book. Oh my God, that's crazy. Let's see. Card number 4. The advice. So this is the advice. Things are coming in. Things are starting to manifest. The advice is, our final spell card is a juicy one. A brass cauldron. Let's see if I can hold it up. A brass cauldron made from hand-dyed bronze organza. This deck is all embroidery pieces that the artist did in real life and then took photos of them and made. So these are all embroidered objects. A brass cauldron fizzes. Oh, my hands. I hurt my hand yesterday. Hold on. I can't hold the book. It's heavy. Fizzes as 2 embroidered wolves. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this closes out with 2 wolves now instead of 1. Made of flames howl their powerful song. We are often told that intuition is a soft and tame thing. This couldn't be further from the truth. Often your intuition is the only wild part of you. It knows when to trust and when to snarl. I've chosen wolves for this reason. They never question their instincts. This is your advice. They never question their instincts and are always in perfect communication with the universe through their paws, nose, gut, and pack. Call back your power. Your spirits have sent this card your way because they want you to meditate and draw back your power. Growing our intuition is a messy, guttural thing. Allow yourself this mess. Take advice from your ancestors and spirits, but don't let any words from anyone rob you of the opportunity to grow. Carve space and give yourself a place to be wild. It is time to set yourself free in any area of your life that needs it. Listen to your intuition. The mess is the perfection. So for now, I think you may feel like, they always say that sometimes, what's that saying? It's always darkest before the dawn. I think things in your life right now could feel a little like all over the place, and you may be questioning this thing that you're manifesting because you're like, what? I might still be with this rat person. I might still be in this weird situation. And sometimes things get worse before they get better. Closing out of, hold on, there's a channeling. I just want to make sure I hear it correctly. Closing out of divine soul partnerships is one where things have to come full circle. So you may go back to a state of being of how you were when you were at your lowest in this partnership. You may feel as things are constricting, but that's only because they're getting ready to be birthed out the other side. So if there's any place in your life right now where you feel like things are maybe being squeezed a little bit, it could be finances, it could be your freedom, it could be your time, it could be your joy, some part of your life where you feel like it's being crushed or squeezed. It's because this relationship has to come to an energetic close as well as a physical close. And I'm still working with my guides on this as to what this means energetically when these types of things close out from an energy standpoint. But I know right now there's a lot of things happening with your energetic field to allow you to birth into this new reality. And part of that is this going through this like birth canal kind of a thing. And that's like a whole other show, they're saying. So I need to table that topic. But energetically, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes that you can't see right now. And and I think that's why you feel like you're being squeezed. It may feel like, your reality is feeling like weird and not how you want it to be, even more so now as the death and rebirth thing happens. The rebirth would be you jumping timelines to where this new soul contract is that new life stream, not just a timeline. Because throughout the day we can jump timelines. We can say like, oh, this isn't going the way I want it to be. I want to go higher and do something different and jump up into a more of a joy or a bliss sensation. And in essence, then you are shifting timelines and reality streams throughout your waking and your sleeping reality as you travel through the astrals. But this is more of a destiny timeline shift, which means you bump up to a whole different life stream. And because you've done such radical work on yourself that you should be very proud of, that your guides are saying, then you're bumping up to a very, very high vibrational life stream. And as such, your energetic field has to be able to align to that jump. This is not just, you can hear this elsewhere, like Esther and Abraham Hicks. You've got to be ready to be ready to be ready. You've got to be in alignment with that which you want. And if you want a really high vibe relationship, then your energy has to expand to that vibration. And then you're able to jump into that, come out the other side into that very high vibe life stream. So that's kind of what I'm working to understand with the guides that I'm working with on this shift as I'm going through the experiential of seeing it play out for various souls right now. And then we can come back at some later point and do a whole show on that. But that's what's happening to you right now. And because it's a death and rebirth happening at the same time, you're going through this, they just keep saying you're going through this birth canal where the old gets compressed and the new gets enhanced. And so it may feel as if, as you're passing through that state of the death/rebirth state, it may feel like there's this squeeze or constriction of the old before the new happens. It's the best I can describe it right now. And they're saying if you know, or you're feeling it, you'll know what we're talking about. And the best advice there is not to think that it is your now reality in a sense, but it's not, because simultaneously you're in the birth canal to this destiny life stream jump. And if it's a destiny jump, that means it's something that's destined to happen in this lifetime regardless. They're saying, regardless, you cannot go back now, because all the work you've done has gotten you to this point. This X marks the spot moment. And you really can't change this from happening. So, and it's not a bad thing, right? It's like, oh, I'm making a huge upgraded jump. So the best advice is to keep looking forward. Well, staying in your now reality, being grateful for everything. Notice the shifts and changes that are happening around yourself in your energy field. Notice the things that are going right, the things that you can control. Trust your intuition. Don't doubt that this is, oh gosh, I'm being constricted somewhere in my life right now. That must mean nothing's happening for me. That must mean I'm going backwards again. Because a lot of this journey was 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, while you continue to learn soul lessons. But your guides have continued to show you over this past 6 months or so that the soul lessons have been learned. You've been in an integration preparation period. And so now you get to reap those rewards. So stay mindful of what's going on around you. If there's some area that's being constricted for whatever reason, just deal with that appropriately based on what guidance you're getting. If you need extra help with that, call in your guides and ask them to help you with whatever that is. But don't lose sight of this destiny live stream that's just right up ahead, getting ready to be birthed for you, getting ready for you to take the jump. It's a choice you will have to make. You don't just fall into it. You will still have to say yes and do it to step over the threshold kind of a thing. but it is out there, it is coming. And I think this is just like a motivational message to say, don't give up before the miracle occurs. And, you know, if you really are like an energy geek, then pay attention, like me, pay attention to the signposts and the things that are happening with you energetically along this part of the journey. They're saying, because it's a very special moment that for some of you is only like a once in a lifetime thing. And it's like, if you can just grab it and run with the magic, that's something that's going to stay with your soul throughout many lifetimes, the magic of what has just happened here. So that is all we have for you, friends. And of course, I did talk for a really long time. So pile one, I want to thank you so much for joining me here. And we may see you again in another pile. And if not, we'll see you somewhere else on the astrals, the interwebs, the TLC for the soul. Thank you so much. Take care. Hello, pile number 2. Hello. Hi. Here I am. Welcome to your reading. You chose the singing bowl. Oops, I'm not holding it right. And your card, well, your bottle cap was, I am complete. Let's get these guys out of here. And your card is from my deck, Twin Hearts. She was trembling, and he touched her hand. You're trembling, love. Let's get you inside. I promise it will be okay. This was Rob Strom, Ashley to Jade. I had to fix this card. Maybe there's something going on there. Rob Strom to Jade in my book, Reiki and Rock. So this is kind of your little significator card. And this was actually in this particular card in the book, and this whole, why do I keep saying actually? Stop doing that. This whole audio book is available on YouTube and on Spotify if you're interested to listening to it. But at this part in the book, this was when Rob and Jade, who are like romantic partners, here we go again, beginning to find here, kind of touched each other for the first time. Like he just touched her hand, I think. And they felt like this electric spark kind of passed through them. So this reading, though, is what is happening in relationships. Oh, in relationships between now, and they aren't giving me this, they said right now, but they have been very generous and are giving us time frames between now and Samhain. And this does happen to be a pumpkin spice candle that I usually only typically burn at Halloween, Samhain season. So this candle has been part of the reading, but we've got something going on here with Twin Hearts. We've got Rob Strom, who was one of the main characters in my book, Reiki and Rock. We've got I Am Complete. You could be a divine masculine listening to this reading because Rob's name is just so clearly sticking out to me here. I Am Complete. You could be a divine masculine who's done all of the soul work that you needed to do to move to the next level. I like to stay in camera here. To move to the next level of your life. So let's get some more cards on the table. Let's use the Final Rose Tarot. Get some of my little love decks. Oh, I like to shuffle in this picture-in-picture here. Let me step back for you. What does pile number 2 need to know? What's happening right now in relationships? It does seem to be a romantic partnership, but let's just see what else the cards have to say. You have one card. The Four of Roses, the Mansion. And I think roses in this deck is wands. Oh, this is like, and this looks very much, you know, like ancestral wealth, the mansion, some sort of beautiful big house, but it looks older, like it's been in the family for quite some time, maybe. So it could be a divine masculine who is wealthy through legacy, I call it like legacy money and legacy land, like stuff that's been passed down in your family over periods of lifetimes, and you're the benefactor of that wealth. So this does feel like a big divine masculine audience for this pile number 2. All right, let's get something here from the pastel journey. But I really feel like with all the colors on the table, so yes, you're a divine masculine who's done their soul work to be able to kind of do something here with love. But you've pretty much got a lot of divine feminine colors in the cards. A lot with the crown chakra, with this lavender. I feel like you're very spiritually connected. We did have the singing bowl that had Buddha on the inside. I feel like you may be very spiritually advanced. You may be mature, like an old soul. We'll just leave it at that. 4 of Cups. And I feel like this is how you're feeling right now. You are like, you know, or maybe that's what brought you to this moment of your spiritual awakening, is kind of like, you know, I'm tired of the same old cups. I'm tired maybe of the same old relationships or partnerships. Maybe there was a lot of like one-night stands or karmic partners or spring flings or whatever, all in these little cups, you know, and they looked really good on the outside. I feel like you're very attractive, and a lot of, they're basically saying females were attracted to you. And they looked really good and juicy with this strawberry, but you were kind of like, you know, and then his spirit's like, here's another fling. And you're like, oh, not another. I think you got to a point where you were like, this is not me anymore. Whoever these are, because this is such a good reading. Rob Strom in the book is a rock musician. He's a rock star. He's a star of a famous rock band that tours Europe and other places. Maybe this is my story time. And he wanted something better for his life. He was an alcoholic. He didn't really have relationships. He just had one-night stands, karmic partners, more just physical relationships with a lot of women. And because he was very, very magnetic and very attractive, we didn't really hear much about his financial status, but we just knew he was very talented. He had to have been wealthy, maybe, I guess, if he was part of a famous rock band. And he just was kind of in it for the physical thing. And then at some point, and he tried, like he wanted to better himself. He tried, he was working on his sobriety. He wasn't doing very good with it in the book, but he was working really hard. He wanted to change. He didn't want to have one-night stands and karmic relationships and spring flings and fling quick little hoo-has or whatever in the backseat of the limo. He was kind of tired of that. And he wanted something more. He wanted to find his person. And he was, in essence, with those thought bubbles and thought forms, manifesting his person to him. And in the book, he does manifest his person, Jade. It's not Jenny that it says on the card. So there may be some perfectionist thing going on, because I remember when I saw that I'd accidentally put the wrong name. I was like, oh my God, I have to fix that. Or maybe you thought, okay, so here's the other thing too. Maybe with the card having the wrong person's name, maybe you thought one person that came along in your life was going to be your person, and it turned out to just be another soul lesson. And so you were like, I am over and done with this. And I want to manifest. You just kept saying this whole time. I think you've had this vision of like, I want to manifest my person. I have all this great 3D stuff. I have this mansion or this ancestral land or this legacy money or, you know, whatever it is, or this rich kid status or whatever, but I have nobody to share it with. You know, I'm certainly not going to give everything away to my one night stands or my karmic partners, just because that never felt right, right? That was not what was happening. Somewhere along the way, you had a shift and you were like, I want my person, somebody who's just right for me, somebody who's aligned to me. I think as you started doing your soul work, as you started coming more into your heart, because you have, I am complete. And in order to become complete, you had to open up your heart, number one, to yourself and who you really are inside, opening the gates to love, self-love, compassion for yourself and what you've been going through. Thus then brought compassion for maybe all the people you feel like you quote unquote might have hurt through your insensitivity. Maybe all these one night stands was just, I'm getting a lot of like love them and leave them energy, you know, like, you know, just here for the night and then I'm gone. Who cares? You know, who cares what happens to you, person? You know, I don't really care. And so I think you may have had like some feelings of like regret or remorse about all these, you know, the way you treated people kind of more superficially, which was Rob too. I mean, he was more like, you know, oh, this is a cute girl, you know. That's, it never went beyond that. Come on, let's go, you know, make out over here. Okay, thanks, bye. You know, so there may have been some feelings like that coming up as you realize like, hey, these are real people with real emotions and all this. And then maybe you were leading people on. Maybe you were making people believe that that they were something that they weren't to you. Like, you know, I think you may have been using your material influence to attract partners, like mainly that I'm a good looking person. It does seem, it just seems to be talking about a guy. I'm a good looking guy, you know, got it going on. You've got the looks and the money and the car and the this. And anybody would want to be with me, you know, come on, you know, bring it. I think you were just telling, inadvertently through your thought forms, you were just like, bring on as much as I can handle. Yeah, I'm getting a lot going on the lower extremities. So I think for you, a physical interaction with someone was like a big ego boost in the past. It did something to give you a false sense of yourself, of who you are. And you lived a lot through just, you know, each one of these quick flings did something for you. Apparently it was like an addiction. So maybe there was a little bit of some sort of a physical, you know, that kind of like addiction going on. And then somewhere along the way, you know, it was time for your soul journey to begin and something snapped and something changed, some aha, or maybe some really big soul defining moment came along and you were put in a position where then it was time to do the soul work. And thus you started opening up to your divine feminine aspect of yourself, you know, opening your heart to love, doing all the forgiveness work, blah, blah, blah. All that other stuff, you know, went out the window as you became more of like the monk at the ashram. Yeah, you may have been celibate for quite some time to try to like balance out all of this. Whew, there's like a lot happening with the Kundalini right now. Balancing out all of this stuff that you had done in the past. You're like, you know, I'm just going to be in my own energy. I don't want to share any of this, any of myself with anyone right now. So I just need now this time and this space to become who I really am meant to be in this lifetime. And so all of that storytelling that I just did, because storytelling has been a big part of these piles, now brings us to this now moment of where I pick up the cards and I say, okay, now, so then with all of that being said, who you are and where you've come from, just as confirmation, so you know that this is all really about you. What is happening now? So let's get out the Twin Hearts deck and get a couple more cards. Oh, God. Oh, geez. All right. Oh, see? Please, please me. I mean, we're back again to the seductiveness. But this card is about like a tango dance. And because it's in black and white, I think, and look, you've got like this just kind of fell. I didn't put this there when I made this deck. This little like, who knows what kind of flower it is, but it actually like fell like almost like, yeah, you have found, and there's a lock. And hold on, I got to look closer. I can't tell if the lock is open. I think someone's got the key to your heart with this padlock. I've never noticed this before. And I can't tell if the gate is open here and the lock is just hanging. So many things come up with this lock, but I think you have seen somewhere or found somewhere or noticed, well, and ultimately Spirit has brought you someone in the 3D world who you're like, I recognize this person as my one. Because of the black and white of this photo, I feel like there's a huge past life connection. They just keep saying Lemuria with this like flower in the hair. So this may be a soul that you knew in a previous lifetime, a very high vibe lifetime. And you have kind of had your sights set on this person as being your one. Okay, that's fine. So let me get a couple more cards. This is my deck, Labyrinth of Dragonshire. What else is going on right now for our pile number 2 people? It's not over till it's over, or is it? Only the heart knows. Okay, so when this card comes out, is it getting a huge... When this card comes out, this is one where, yeah, this one's coming off the top. This A. Air, new clarity, messages, mind chatter, and wings. This is a 1 and this is a 7. Okay, things are moving forward here. 717 or 17. You have been getting parrot guidance, repeat messages over and over and over again about this person, whoever they are that you've got your eyes set on. And it may have been that you tried to like shush it away, like, what, you know, that person, you know, that's crazy. You know, why would that person, you know, want to have anything to do with me? Why would that person, see me as their soulmate or as their one or whatever label you're putting on this thing? Why would that person think that I'm that other one for them? You know, that's crazy. And so you would push it aside, and then only the heart knows over and over and over again that person, whoever they are, there's one specific person, Spirit has kept pushing them back to you. Oh my God, I'm holding up my fingers like that. The Hierophant has been pushing them back to you over and over and over again. You just keep getting parrot guidance over and over and over again that this person is your person. There's this little hummingbird here. That this person is your person. And whenever you get that parrot guidance, it makes you feel so happy, like, wow, you know, I'm even getting emotional. It makes you feel emotional because it dredges up like all these feelings that you want to feel with somebody else. And somehow you've only been able to feel those feelings when you connect energetically to this person. So you may have still had, you know, like people from the past coming back like, oh, so-and-so, you're, you know, my person. Oh, you're so cute, you know, come with me or whatever. And you've been like, nope, boundaries are up. I'm not going with anybody else. I'm not doing any of that again. I'm in it. I think you are very clear right now that you are in it for your one, to find your one, and your one, your spirit guides have been confirming to you over and over and over again for what seems like a really long time now that this person, whoever it is your person. And they're saying slowly over time, they've been chipping away at your resolve to where now you truly do believe this person is your person. And I think through it all, you've been seeking validation of that because you're a little bit like I think because your shadow side still plays a little bit into this little bit, like the ego stroke. You're used to the girls coming to you because of how hot you are. Maybe you're really hot. How hot you are. All right, what good looks you have, or the money that you've got, or whatever it is, whatever it is in your field, you've got some sort of magnetism about you that draws people to you. It's almost like something you can't control. I think it has to do with your soul blueprint. And something in your soul blueprint has this magnetism, and it's not just, I could go deep into this, but it has to do with really good karma from past lives. It has to do, all the fame and the fortune and all of that, I'm getting so many chills, has to do with good things you've done in past lifetimes that you've built up good karma over time. And now you're reaping all the rewards of that material stuff in this lifetime. But the one thing that's been missing is this quote unquote, the one, your person. Okay. And so slowly over time, yes, I'm getting so many chills. Your guides have been showing you, you may have been seeking out readings. You may have had, people looking at this other person's energy to try and tell you, like, are you really aligned to this person? Because I think there has been this niggling thing about, I don't ever have to be the one to pursue any relationship. Those things just come to me. The babes just flock to me. I don't have to do anything. And now you're put in the opposite role of being the pursuer, so to speak. And you're not used to that. You're like a total newbie when it comes to like, what do you mean I go after my relation? What do you mean I go after my woman and I woo her and I do the courtship dance or whatever. And I see like kind of more about like, what is it going to be like to take your time to get to know somebody, to build a relationship? Like all of that is like total out of your comfort zone because you haven't really been in that type of relationship before. And I think the fact that in this case, your guides keep telling me like, well, you've got to be the one to make the move or else nothing's going to happen. This person doesn't know who you are. They're not going to come to you. You've got to be the one to do this. You've been at an impasse, so to speak, because you have felt like you don't want to be seen as some sort of fool. You don't want to be seen as some sort of like, oh my God, I go towards this person who you may have put on a little bit of a pedestal. I don't know who they are. Maybe it's me. What the fuck? Oh no, I could go crazy. Maybe it's somebody in the spotlight or somebody that you see online. I'm saying it's me. But it just could be somebody you've seen that you kind of put up on a pedestal. And okay, calm down. And so you've just been like, what do you mean? I've got to go towards this person. And when I go towards this person, what am I supposed to say to them? And I think that's where we're coming in. They're saying right now is you need a little bit of advice on how to move forward because everything else right now is going to be in some sort of a weird standstill until you make this move. And so you're going to be in this almost like void space where nothing moves forward until you take a chance. All right, so let's get your advice then. Oh my gosh, this reading has me all like, woo, this is my person coming for me. All right. Oh, and this card, wow, I didn't even have to pick this card, it just flew. I'm going to use the embroidered graveyard deck for advice. But when I went to pick up the cards, this card just like jettisoned itself out of the bottom of the deck. So let's see what this is. Oh my God, like a giddy teenager. This is, the font in this is very hard to read. Transform. Oh gosh, card number 20. So let's see, this is advice. I am going to read from the book because this book, like I said in the other piles, is like chef's kiss on the advice. Let's see, this book. Card number 20, transformation. Transformation happens in the dark. Within its chrysalis, caterpillars break themselves down into a soup of cells called imaginal cells before putting their bodies back together in a new configuration and emerging as beautiful moths or butterflies. Pictured on the card is the gorgeous death's head hawk moth. The middle of that transformation is a gruesome, sticky mess, but now the moth has wings and it can fly. We are supposed to change. Yes, it's, hold on, I hurt my hand. I can't hold the book. It's uncomfortable, but we must grow. Our very cells crave it and push us towards this. And then the advice is try the let's do this thing spread on page number 236. So we may have to do a breakout reading on that, but it says it's time. Do you feel it? Everything is guiding you to the next level of transformation. You are outgrowing your old self and making room for your higher self. Human beings cannot help but progress. Any action you repeat, you will get better at it. Remind yourself of this while you practice. It is impossible to not get better, faster, and more efficient with practice. This card says if you feel like crap and you've been doing the work, this might just be your moment, that breakthrough period of change. Keep going. Starting right now. So I think your advice, let's see, let's just check in with our guides here. Oh, they want me to do one more and then do the advice. Hold on. What's that deck? Archangel Michael deck. They're saying that you sometimes say, well, if Archangel Michael says it, then it must be so. So you definitely are a bringer of the light. Maybe one of your bosses, Archangel Michael. All right, so let's see what Archangel Michael says, and then I can put this together for you. Increase your knowledge. Education brings opportunities. Take a course, pick up a book, or find a mentor to teach you what your soul longs to know. And this is books. It's not so much the message here, it's the visual that they want me to look at, the scrolls, the pages of the book turning, and okay, all right. So you have already assimilated all the knowledge you need to. This is kind of like a reverse message for you. This is one of those like, okay, you don't need to hear another card reading. You already know what to do. You don't need to pick up another, go to your healer again and get another healing. Everything's fine. You're exactly where you need to be. Just like this card says, you've already come out of the chrysalis. You're already the butterfly ready to fly. It's time to do this thing, okay? And I think that the advice for you out of that card is, if it feels awkward to you to approach this person, then just practice with somebody else. Practice in a mirror. Get your phone or your tablet, because I think this is a tablet. Get your tablet out and practice, putting together this message. You're going to say, I don't know how you're going to approach this person. You're going to send them a message, or you're going to just like pop into it seems like you might be popping into their DMs or something, rather than, it doesn't feel like it's I'm going to walk up to the person at the store or whatever. It doesn't feel like it's it doesn't feel like it's a meeting where you're meeting this person face to face, because they said there could be some distance involved between you and this person. So it feels like your first meeting with this person which also feels awkward to you, I think, because you're used to being approached in the physical 3D, like people, I don't want to say running up to you. That seems weird. Maybe you are on stage and maybe like people rush the stage like, it's so fine. I gotta get a glimpse of so-and-so. But more like, you're used to just, kind of like in the book, Reiki and Rock, where Rob would just, go up to the drive-through of some burger joint and the person would be like, oh, it's Rob Strom. Oh my God, I've got to get a picture with him. Oh, wouldn't it be great if he asked me out? Where Rob just, wherever he goes, just meets these girls just flock to him. This feels a little awkward to you too, because you got to be the one to make the move. That's the number one. And then the number two, it's awkward because it feels like it's an online meeting at first, not through like a dating app or something. It feels like you're either coming into somebody's DMs or somebody's email or commenting on, someone's post or something that, and you're very heavily guided in this. I think you're putting too much pressure on yourself. Like, I got to figure out how I'm going to do this. I feel like there's this opportune moment where your guides are like, send that message or say this thing, and you just channel it out through like automatic writing almost. I think you don't give yourself enough credit for how spiritually connected you are. You're just going to channel out this quick message, and you may have been practicing in your mind over and over again. I mean, you may have been trying to like write out this dissertation of what you're going to say to this person, and I feel like your in moment with this person is kind of like this quick, upbeat little conversational message that somehow opens the door. Because let me tell you, with what I've been feeling in this reading, this is not a person who's going to be unbeknownst to your energy. This person has been feeling you for quite some time, because I was like feeling it all in the body of whoever this energy is. This person has been feeling you. They've probably been waiting for you for quite some time. And when you show up in the 3D for them, the knock on the door, they're going to feel those same feelings in their body, and they're going to know that the 3D you is the astral 5D you that they've been talking to and astral projecting with and telepathically communicating with for quite some time now. And you don't really have anything to worry about. And I think your guides have been telling you this over and over again, but because of the awkwardness of how you have to do this, totally out of your comfort zone, you are just, that's where the uncertainty lies. And so I think for you, the best advice would be, number one, just go for it. And the moment's going to come when you're going to be pushed to just go for it. And the words you need to say are coming straight from the heart. And you know what I feel like? I feel like I'm going to get emotional. I feel like the words you need to say to this person are something you told them way back in one of these really high vibe past lives. Something that may sound totally dumb, like totally, I think that's the thing too, is it may sound like totally like, what? But whatever it is that Spirit's guiding you to say to this person is the key to that padlock. That padlock that it's not really a literal padlock, but it's the key that unlocks this destiny timeline that is the whole big timeline you've been manifesting in your mind for quite some time now. So your advice is to trust yourself, trust the guidance that you're getting. And I think that the big old dramatic scene of how you're approaching this person is really not going to be as dramatic as you might think it is. I think it's going to be this moment when you're flying really high or you're super relaxed or whatever. And then you're just going to get this push from your guides to like pick up, in this case, I guess, pick up your phone or your tablet or something. And they're going to take you right where you need to be. I don't know if it's a DM or a comment or an email or whatever. And you're just going to type in like this witty little thing. I mean, it's going to seem so inconsequential to you. And you're going to like send this little witty little love note. And this other person, it's just going to, I'm telling you, it's just going to rock their world. And that is the whole start of this whole new high vibe timeline for you and this person. Oh, it's just so good. All right. So let me just see if there's anything else Okay, so your guides are saying you are complete like your bottle cap is, and they are complete with their messages. And so I am going to leave it here right now for you, friends. We will see you, hopefully, maybe even another pile or somewhere else in the astrals at TLC for the soul. So take care. Hello, pile number 3. Hello. Then the thing, this little thing, whatever. You chose the rattle. You chose High Five to Wellness, along with the Guinness Extra Stout, the Harp. And your card, oh, is the Fool from the Mermaid Darcy, Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot. Okay, so we were talking about what's happening in your relationships right now. What's happening right now? So it looks like there's some sort of new beginning. But let's get a few more cards out. Let's draw from, the Final Rose Tarot. And I like doing this because you can see me shuffle over here in the mirror. Me over here. This is so amazing. Let's see what we've got. Pile number 3. What do they need to know about their relationships right now? The End. Card number 13. So you've got an ending. I guess the ending, well, they kind of happen simultaneously, the ending and the beginning. They happen at the same time. Let's see. Let's get a few more cards out. I kind of like to lay out the whole story. This is my homemade deck, the Labyrinth of Dragonshire. This pile number 3 need to know right now what's happening in relationships. I've got the blank card. And we'll take the bottom. Oh, it's the same exact thing. The bottom is the compass. You are creating your own reality right now. Watch out. So the blank, it looks like a lot of this is up to you. Let's look at this end card. Just look at the book really quick. The end card is, what is 13? Hold on. I'm not good. I don't memorize my major arcana. Gotta go look. 13. The Death card. Okay. So it is endings, new beginnings. This card says, when this reaper of packaged bags arrived, is game over. The journey has come to an end and tears will be shed. This sobering moment in time reminds us to face the reality that as much as our hearts desire a fairy tale ending, nothing is certain. Keep your expectations in check so when life calls, a situation quits, you can open yourself up to new romantic adventures. But first, your heart must begin to mend. I think this is, let me just keep going really. Let me see. What's another deck? Oh, they're saying this reading is about divine time. This pile, not this reading, well, maybe the whole reading is too, but this pile is about divine timing. That's quite interesting. All right, so where do we want to go with that? They want me to pull out Shaman's Drum. So Shaman's Drum is typically a deck I don't use like in the spring and summer. I feel it's more like a fall deck, and the guides did say, let's see, that this reading has to do, even though in the beginning they said that this is happening right now, which is kind of like a little thing they always say, like what you're doing right now is creating your future reality, so to speak, right? The things that you are thinking about, the things that you're manifesting. I mean, everything is happening in this now moment and plays a part into the future. So let's see. So I typically use this deck in the fall, which for me, we're recording this the day after the full moon in Capricorn and the summer solstice up here in the Northern Hemisphere in June. And, you know, soon it's going to start feeling like fall. I don't know. I don't know. Let's just keep going. Let's just not let's not read too much into this quite yet. All right. So let me pop back over here into this mirror. I like this shuffling better. It's not so right in the camera. It's kind of like this dreamy. I think this is like an advice pile. Coyote Clan. Fun and frolic await you when you join in with this clan. Oh my gosh, and that's like this card. I do have to show this card I got earlier today. I've been drawing Fool cards all day long for different purposes, and this one came out earlier. This card, this clown card, as an advice card for this new beginning. So you may be coming from one of the other piles, like pile 1 or pile 2. You may have listened to all the piles, but it sounds like what Spirit's saying here is between now and Samhain, which is the end of October, there's kind of this simultaneous ending / new beginning. And they're not going to tell you when this celebratory moment is going to happen. And so you're being guided to keep your spirits very high. Yeah. Oh, so many chills. Chills is a big confirmation. Yeah, the bottom of the deck is shield. Raise your shield to protect yourself. So this may be a little bit of quote unquote parrot guidance from a couple of the other piles, because the message, I don't remember which one, it might have been both, was, you know, as things are ending and this divinely timed moment is about to start, you could be feeling like, you could still be feeling like nothing's happening. Because a lot of times, especially when you're waiting for something, you know, and especially when it's something that you don't necessarily have control over. When am I going to get that divinely inspired action? When is this thing going to kick off? You may still feel like, because you can't see anything in your 3D reality happening quite yet, you know, you may be going like, oh, this is the same old, nothing's changing. And your motivation and your motivation may wane, they're saying. And so this type of a reading is saying, well, whatever's happening in relationships right now is whatever you've been manifesting for your relationships right now. It's not about a specific relationship. It's kind of like, you know what you're manifesting. If it's your one, if it's your person, if it's a new work partnership, if it's a new romance, if it's a new soulmate connection, if it's a new child, they're saying, they're like, you know what these things are. And this particular pile is not here to tell you the thing itself, because you already know the thing. This pile is here to tell you that the thing is manifesting between now and Samhain, but because you can't see it quite yet, you need that little bit. You need those extra confirmations. They're like, oh, I still don't see anything's changing. Maybe my manifestation's not coming, because right before, yeah, they're giving me chills. Right before the manifestation happens, you have to be like you have to be super aligned to it. And if it's a very new high vibey relationship that you're manifesting, then you have to be in the vibration that matches the new beginning. And if the new beginning is like, if the new thing is like super wow, then you kind of have to be in this like super wow state of beingness as much as you can. Now, they're not saying, you know, that every 24/7 you can be super wow, but you can certainly try. Like I do certainly try to do that. But, you know, as much as you can, you have to keep your vibe very high for this to come in. Let's see. All right, let me get a Twin Hearts because everybody's kind of getting... Okay, so this is my deck, Twin Hearts. Let's see, anything else for pile number 3? Okay, I got 2 cards. What's that? Got a sailboat. Let's run away together and let's make up. It's kind of odd. But they came out together. Spirit, what does this have to do with the divine timing? Okay, they're like, lay those down and just keep going and it will all, yeah, because that's part of it. This is it. This is the, like, this is kind of the now reality. Like, you're dreaming about all this stuff, but you may still be in this left-hand side of the picture. Didn't we put the left-hand side over here? We put this side was the death and this part was the new thing. And this is how these came out. The thing that you're moving away from is this, you know, let's make up, whoever it is, somebody maybe have to constantly like deal with or fight with or mess with or whatever. And you're dreaming about this, like, I just want somebody that I can jump in my sailboat and just run away together off into the blue, into my new high vibe reality. But I'm still back over here with the black and white and this and that. Spirit saying it's not black and white. It could be a complicated thing that is manifesting. Not a complicated thing that's manifesting, but it could be a situation that's very intricately designed, they're saying. A lot of synchronicities have to happen, a lot of moving parts, a lot of people might necessarily be involved, a lot of, how do I want to say, a lot of like things have to happen like do, like in perfect harmony, like this has to happen, then that has to happen, then that has to happen, then that has to happen. And in the astral, Spirit's lining all of this up so that you can quantum jump it when this divinely timed thing, this new beginning happens. Interesting. What else? Any other decks? They're having me use some different decks here, so I'm going to just make sure I'm hearing correctly. All right, Lone Wolf. They're saying Lone Wolf. I probably should have called this. I created this deck in this phase I call the Lone Wolf phase that I was in, kind of like when you've been by yourself for a while. But this is Forest of the Wolf. Let's see. What else is pile number 3? This came out. Uniqueness, the White Wolf. And they're having me pull from the bottom. Soulmate. Okay. So yeah, I think this just confirms, I think this is just confirming like the situation that you're in is very unique to you. And they're, you know, saying like, yeah, you've been going through it. And so it may feel like nothing is changing. I think there's still this person like in your 3D reality that just continues to pop up, and you're like, I thought I was manifesting getting rid of this person. And Spirit's like, yes, you are, but you have to hold on a little bit longer. And, you know, when we hear about divine timing, sometimes when I watch readings about divine timing, it's very superficial. The guidance is always like, well, things have to be divinely timed. And I'm always like, well, I want to know exactly what that means. I'm a spiritual seeker. I'm like a, what is the word? Like a spiritual scientist. You know, I'm not just satisfied with the, well, it's going to have, maybe I should be, but I'm kind of like energetically, I want to know what's happening. Like, why is something have to be divinely timed? What does that mean? You know, why does divine timing have to be such a mystery? And many people have their own opinions about it and their own spiritual truths about what that is for them. But in the case of manifesting something where more than one person is involved, they're saying the divinely timed beginning becomes intricately more complex. So it's not just like, oh, I'm manifesting, give me an idea, a vacation. You know, when can I take that, Spirit? And yeah, you know, this, that, and the, but it's in your control. Like, it's something you're doing. This seems like it's kind of out of everyone's control. This thing, these, okay, it's what they're calling these destiny live stream or destiny jumps, things that are part of a part of your soul blueprint before you incarnated. These big life-changing events like, you know, divorces and births and marriages and deaths and all that. These things that were intricately woven. And while they're supposed to be, they're on your timeline and they're meant for you and that they're coming, the thing is that oftentimes there is not an exact moment in time that's pre-picked out, for lack of a better word. There's not like a, before you incarnated, you didn't say on such and such date at such and such time, this is going to happen, because everybody's got free will choice. And there's so many moving parts and moving puzzle pieces to what's going on. But the ultimate manifestation is, you know, in this case, it sounds like it's a relationship. So in this case, you know, person A and person B are going to come together in a new beginning that's part of their destined timeline or their destined, you know, soul blueprint. And they are destined to meet each other. And they have to pass through a series of portals and gates and portals and gates and portals and gates and portals and gates, and do the soul work that's required in order to get to this now moment. Things happening within and around them also have to line up in order for this thing to happen, in order for these synchronistic events to happen. There may be other people involved, other third-party people involved, third-party partners could be involved, children, elderly parents, I don't know who the heck they are, siblings, I don't know, but other people could be involved. And when we say, we always say this on the spiritual journey, like, I want to manifest what's for the best and highest good of all involved, right? It's like our little mantra, bringers of the light. And Spirit's like, well, when you say that, this sounds like parrot guidance too. Like, I've delivered this in many of these other readings. When you say that, then I'm getting so many chills. The do no harm thing applies. And so your actions or the other person's actions in terms of coming together and meeting each other cannot be done in such a way that causes harm to anybody else, because you're here to clear negative karma, not create more freaking negative karma. That's what we've been working our butts off to clear, right? So the moments are divinely timed in that each party involved reaches a certain level of being ready. And when everybody's at this certain level of being ready, then the destined event kicks off. Okay, so now they're saying draw a card. So I'm going to draw this, oh, I forgot, Through the Eyes of the Soul or something. I'm not remembering the name of the deck. Let's see, Through the Eyes of the Soul. Anything else for pile number 3? This is Oh, these cards stick together. Okay, there's 2 cards here. Through the Eyes of the Soul by Cheryl Yombrock Rose. I better grab the book. They're saying these are the last 2 cards. So the first card is Lift the Curse and Forgive. This is about ancestral healing. And let peace prevail. This is Rosalind Chapel in the background. Look, horses in both of them. This is you and this other person, whoever this is. One of them's you and one of them's the other person. Because look, you both have horses. Horses is like such a big one. And when the horses come, the horses are coming. When the horses come, it's like such a big deal. Lift the Curse and Forgive is a story about ancestral healing. I think the majority of these cards are happening in the UK and Ireland, like the stories. The first one is card number 31. Maka lifting the curse of war. So this is Irish. Fairy woman. Maka of Irish myth was a fairy woman married to a foolish man. Because he boasted about her ability, she was forced to run a race against the king's horses while 9 months pregnant. She wins, collapses, and gives birth to twins. Before she dies, she curses the men of Ulster, saying that when they go into battle, the men will become as weak as a woman in labor. Ugh. In the painting, she is not only lifting the original curse on the Ulster men, but also the curse of war from the world of man. The mound in the foreground is their ancestral home of Emin Macha in County Armagh with the Celtic ritual horns that were found close by. Yeah, this deck is very Celtic if I recall. Oh, yeah, there I am. And then let peace prevail. Oh, it's 30 and 31 too. I just noticed the numbers. 30 and 31. And so what's the Divine Masculine doing? Love conquers death. Slay your demons and bury the sword. Unlock the vaults of your heart. Weary of conflict, the Templar Knight kneels over the vaults of Rosalind Chapel. In the background, light is visible through the window. It illuminates the stairway to the vaults as if we are waiting for someone to enter. Yes, that's what's supposed to be happening here. On the night shield is the moss-covered Heartstone ensconced in the river Esk below in Rosalind Glen. The sky, with the twilight glow of a Midlothian sunset, signifies the urgency of acting before the night is engulfed in darkness. 2 keys. He's got 2 keys. 2 keys of wisdom hang from his belt. The hero's journey is about cycles of death and rebirth. That's what we were just talking about. Denying the spiritual only leads to the illusionary life, while the transitory satisfaction of winning usually leads to conflict. Bury the sword of external power and seek the hidden treasure within. Slay your demons and bury the sword. Unlock the vaults of your heart. I feel like some of you have either come in from pile 1 or pile 2, or possibly both, because it feels like this is just extra guidance saying that you're not doing anything wrong. You're just right now, you're aligning to this destiny timeline. And the best thing that you can do is keep doing the work, keep doing your spiritual practice, keep working on you, keep the, what is it? Keep hope alive. Yeah, this is 2, if this was 2 people coming together, it's 2 very aligned souls. I mean, you've both done like ancestral, I don't even really explain it anymore. The past lives together, not possibly, they are. Okay. And so the one last card we're going to get is from the Embroidered Graveyard. Anything else for good old pile number 3. Oh, 2 more cards. Yeah, I think this is... Yeah. Be present. This is your advice. Just be here now. And divine chaos. This is, yeah, this is what comes in and creates new beginnings. This, like tower energy. Divine chaos means there's nothing else you really have to do here but hold space for what you want to manifest. And even the divinely time thing is something you don't have control over. I think you think that you have to do something here. And it's like, no, you just have to keep showing up, showing up, showing up. And when the time is right, you will be divinely guided to take action. I don't think there's anything necessarily you need to keep doing other than keep doing your spiritual practice, have faith, know that the thing that you want is manifesting in your life. And if there's anything you have to do to take action, when that time comes, you will be very, very aware and you will be very guided to the point that you'll almost feel like, you know, you're somehow being moved. Moved. Was that Shields and Yarnell? That's what that reminds me of. The husband and the wife that were the puppet mimes. You will be divinely guided, whoa, to take action. And there's nothing you'll really have to do but just show up. Just show up with your heart open, ready to jump on to this new timeline, this new destiny timeline. It's destined for you. Okay. Let me just check in and see if there's anything else. They're saying no. That is all that we have for you now. So yay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys for joining me here. And I don't know. We'll see you again somewhere else in the astrals at TLC for the Soul. Until then, take care.